You have done everything right, worked hard, stayed disciplined, kept pushing. So why does it still feel like you're falling behind? Why does peace never arrive, no matter how much you achieve? Like the harder you run, the further the finish line moves. It's like the world keeps moving faster than you can breathe, and you start asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Why does enough never feel like enough? Maybe it's not you at all. Maybe it's the quiet pressure of a world that rewards exhaustion. Because here's the secret no one tells you. The finish line doesn't move because you're failing. It moves because the world was designed that way, to keep you running, striving, and comparing. So you were never behind at all. You've just been caught in something bigger, a system that never lets anyone arrive. Modern thinkers call it the trap of busyness. And today we're breaking out of it. But before you can break free from it, you need to understand how the modern world itself became the race we can't stop running. The world today hums like a machine that never shuts down. Even before the sun rises, screens glow, notifications blink, footsteps hurry towards somewhere. Time feels like it's been turned into a race. And we, its loyal runners, keep chasing a finish line that keeps drifting away. Somewhere between one meeting and the next, between swiping and scrolling, between pretending to listen and planning what to say next, a quiet exhaustion begins to form, the kind no amount of sleep can fix. We call this life. We call it success. But deep down, something whispers, this can't be it. Eckhart Tolle once said, most people aren't truly alive because they're not truly present. And maybe you felt that, the way silence feels foreign these days. See, the moment stillness enters a room, we reach for something, a phone, a thought, a distraction, anything to avoid meeting ourselves. And perhaps Eckhart Tolle was right, because when silence finally shows up, we panic. Alan Watts would have smiled gently at this. He said life isn't a journey with a destination, it's a dance. The point of dancing isn't to arrive, it's to feel the rhythm. But somehow, humanity forgot the rhythm. We turned the dance into a marathon. And now we call exhaustion purpose, which is absurd. We wake up chasing seconds, filling every gap with noise, every pause with progress, every breath with pressure. We wear busyness like a badge of honor. And yet, when the lights go out and the applause fades, a strange emptiness remains, one that no achievement can silence. Michael Singer once wrote, we're not tired because we do too much, we're tired because we resist too much. He called busyness a kind of resistance, a way of keeping the inner storm quiet. We run from silence not because it's empty, but because it's full of truths we've forgotten how to face. And then, when the noise finally stops, in that rare breathless gap between one obligation and the next, we meet what we've been avoiding all along, ourselves. Perhaps that's the great irony of our age. Because we travel across continents looking for peace, while the door to it has always been within us, waiting to be opened. When you finally slow down enough to feel your own footsteps, you realize the world was never in a hurry. Only your mind was. And in that calm, you begin to see that doing less isn't losing. It's listening. Ryan Holiday, the modern Stoic, calls stillness strength. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire, wrote that nowhere can a person find a quieter retreat than within their own soul. And maybe that's what you're being called to now. Not escape, but to return. But first, we need to ask, why is it so hard to be still? Why, even in moments meant for rest, do our fingers keep searching? The screen, the scroll, the next small task? Neuroscientists say the human brain was never designed for constant stimulation. Each notification, each unfinished thought, pulls at your mind like static. Psychologists call it attention residue, the mind's inability to let go of the last thing before jumping to the next. So even when you pause, part of you is still running. And then there's the dopamine loop. that endless chase for the small hit of done. Our devices became slot machines. Our to-do lists, confession booths. We seek redemption through productivity. The result? A body that moves faster than its breath, and a soul left waiting somewhere we never arrive. Eckhart Tolle might call this the pain body in motion. We feed it with noise, so we don't have to feel its hunger. Michael Singer calls it the energy of resistance. He says life flows like a river, but the mind keeps swimming upstream, controlling, predicting, holding on. And when we finally become tired, we mistake that exhaustion for meaning. Singer reminds us, freedom isn't found by getting what you want. It's found by letting go of what you don't need to carry. Thich Nhat Hanh's answer was gentler still. He'd place a cup of tea before you and whisper, "Drink it slowly. Don't let your life spill." To him, peace wasn't something to find after work. It was the work itself. Every breath, every step, every small act of care, an invitation to come home to yourself. Modern psychology agrees with this. When the breath slows, the nervous system resets. The heart steadies. Cortisol softens. Stillness isn't idleness. It's restoration at the deepest level. So now, how do we escape this trap of busyness? Here are 5 small ways to do it. Not by changing the world, but by remembering yourself within it. First, learn to pause on purpose. Do this not as a reward for finishing something, but as a way of remembering yourself. Before you unlock your phone, take a single breath and notice how your body feels. Before replying to a message, feel the air move in and out of your chest. Before rushing into the next task, take one slow sip of water and taste it completely. These tiny pauses remind your nervous system that stillness is safe. Over time, your body stops living like it's being chased. As Eckhart Tolle said, this moment is not your enemy, it's life itself. Even 10 seconds of presence can return you home to peace. Second, question the why behind every yes. This is because not every opportunity is meant to be taken. Sometimes, yes is how we hide from fear. Fear of being left behind, fear of disappointing someone, fear of facing silence. Before you agree, pause and ask, does this serve my peace or just my fear of being forgotten? Michael Singer calls this noticing resistance. The moment you stop living reactively and start choosing consciously, every no that protects your peace is really a yes to life. Third, practice graceful simplicity. Start by reducing friction. Clear the clutter on your desk. Delete what no longer serves you, the tab, the task, the thought. Simplicity isn't about having less, it's about carrying less noise inside. Ryan Holiday calls this the discipline of clarity. Only a calm mind, he writes, can see clearly. Stillness isn't retreat, it's strategy. The quieter your mind, the sharper your choices. Fourth, turn doing into mindful doing. Whatever you're doing, give it your full attention. When you wash a dish, feel the warmth of the water. When you write an email, breathe between sentences. It's not about slowing down, it's about showing up. Thich Nhat Hanh said, when you are truly here, you are already enough. When your attention and your action meet in the same place, even the smallest task becomes sacred. Fifth, practice sacred idleness. The ancients called it otium, a time for reflection, wonder, and rest. Let yourself do nothing for a moment each day. Sit by the window, notice the light change, listen to the hum of the world without trying to fix it. Even the heart rests between beats. That pause is what makes rhythm possible. Alan Watts said, "The meaning of life is just to be alive, not to reach something by the end, but to feel it while it happens." Otium is that feeling, the quiet joy of simply being. And when you begin practicing these small shifts, something inside you softens. The rush loses its power, and life starts to breathe again. As we come to the end of this journey, remember, escaping the trap of busyness isn't about leaving the world behind. It's about returning to it awake. When action rises from stillness, it becomes grace instead of grind. When words rise from silence, They become wisdom instead of noise. And when life moves through you instead of against you, you finally remember you were never late, never behind, never incomplete. You were simply meant to arrive here. Now, at some point, you'll realize the world isn't slowing down. It never will. Technology will move faster. Demands will multiply. But that's not the problem, because presence doesn't need the world to be still. It only needs you to be. You don't find stillness by escaping motion. You find it by realizing you are the stillness. So when tomorrow rushes back, when the phone lights up, the inbox fills, and the clock begins its sing, remember this: the finish line will always move, but presence will always wait. The moments that matter most won't be the ones you filled with doing, but the ones you lived with being. Close your eyes, breathe, let this one belong to you.